Hello everyone, welcome back. It's Space Engineers plus me, episode 11. I'm Enigmius, and today we're finishing off the ore leech. This is our entry-level mining ship that we created, ostensibly to speed up the ore extraction process. We want lots and lots of ore as fast as we can get it so that we can build larger, bigger, nastier ships with more stuff on them to extract more ore and eventually fly into space. That's kind of the goal. So today we're going to put the few finishing touches that we need on the ship. You see that little block with the red arrow pointing down? That's a conveyor sorter. And the reason why I'm showing you guys this is for those who haven't played the game or used one of these blocks. It allows us to control where the inventory on our ship is going. And in this case, it's going to allow us to jettison the stone from the ship by directing all of the stone through the conveyor sorter into a bunch of ejectors, hopefully in a location where they aren't going to be jettisoning stone all over the hull of our ship, causing all kinds of damage. We want it free and clear of the ship. Just get it out of there so that we're not carrying it around. We don't have stone taking up space in our inventories. It's a pretty simple setup. There's not anything particularly complicated about it. One of the things, when I was kind of coming up with this idea and deciding how to set everything up, I realized I don't really know how much stone we're going to be extracting and how fast we're going to need to get rid of it if we want to stay on top of the whole process. So I decided to just kind of go with a little bit of overkill, set ourselves up so that it would basically, if we can't stay on top of it with the setup that we've got, we're going to have a total of 10 ejectors. Then it's a thing. It's a problem that we need to give a little bit of thought to. Maybe we should switch to a connector just set to throw everything out, sort of in ejector mode, whatever it takes. We'll try it like this and we'll see how far it gets us based on how much ore we're extracting. So you can see, rather than kind of mess around, I could have done this probably a little bit better with the conveyors. You see those red blocks that I just placed? Those are conveyors, little small conveyors. I could have replaced the ones on the ends with corner tubes. It wasn't really that important. It wasn't. There's a few extra materials involved in using a conveyor block instead of a conveyor tube or a conveyor corner tube. It wasn't that big of a deal. You can see these are the ejectors. I'm going to mess up the colors. One half is going to be yellow, the other half is going to be red, but we'll fix it before everything all is said and done. I didn't really spend a lot of time in this episode showing you guys the work that I've been doing just specifically on the hull, building things out around this or that. It's one of those things that we can demonstrate the concepts over time. As the series progresses, we can show a little bit here and there. If I were to try and get you guys enough footage to give you a meaningful picture of what it looked like to get the hull up to the point where you'll see it towards the end of the video, it would involve sorting through 4.5 hours of footage and trying to decide which is important that needs to be shown and which isn't that could be skipped, because I don't think you guys would tolerate 4.5 hours of just spinning blocks. I wouldn't tolerate 4.5 hours of spinning blocks. So we're just kind of showing you the highlights, the last little bits and pieces that go into this thing, so that we can get down to the business of testing it and showing you how our masterful creation works. You can see now we've got, on this side, we've got red ejectors because I was just not really paying close enough attention to what color I was using. I love the fact that you can change the color of the blocks and components that you're building at a whim. I'm so used to building in other games where the block color is decided for you based on a variety of different things. In this case, we get to decide, and we can do like a blue hull with red and yellow machinery. We can have things color-coded. That's what I'm working towards, is having a system in my own little head for such and such type of thing will be this color, and you know, such and such type of other thing will be that color, and then we can do whatever we want for the hull color. That's kind of the goal. But you can see it's coming along. I kind of think it looks a little bit impressive with all of these injectors and the two little ejectors in the two little rows. But it's kind of difficult to see when we've got all of this scaffolding about, which is what I call building the large blocks and not welding them, just so that I can get around and reach up to the higher places on this ship. It takes a little while to get around. As it is, one of the things that I want to do for this landing pad, so to speak, is get a med bay down here so that I can recharge the hydrogen in my suit and the power a little bit easier. These blocks here that I'm placing, they're conveyor blocks, they're conveyor frames is what they're called. They're the large size to fit the large size ports on the container, that blue container that I just attached them to, but they're made for small ships. When I say that, some of you are going to be thinking, what? Why large for small ships? It's a thing. It's just a thing. Here's the connector that we would use on this ship to help it dock with our base to unload whatever we had gathered, and also to load up on any kind of electricity that we maybe had in excess in our base. We could kind of recharge a little bit from there. If we had everything set up properly, we could get hydrogen and oxygen from our base onto the ship. So you're going to be seeing connectors on pretty much every ship that we make that's designed to do anything other than maybe just kind of get us around with a single reactor and a handful of thrusters. I can see making a ship like that at some point in the not too distant future, but for now, you can kind of see a little bit. All the thrusters, we've got a total of 10 thrusters, just providing thrust in a downward direction so that we can lift the ship. And then we've got all of our maneuvering thrusters placed in the various different places where we could find a place for them, so that we can hopefully get around and kind of control where we're going, the different directions we want to go, maybe slow our, velocity in a particular direction, a particular vector. We can reverse whatever we want to do. We got lots of thrusters to do it. This back end bugs me. This back end that I did is basically just a big flat rectangle with the turkey legs hanging down with the landing gears. Not a fan, but it's kind of what I ended up with, and I realized that I just wanted to test it. I just wanted to get it into service, and here you go. This is our first test. We're in the cockpit, and all we have to do is disengage the landing gear and then hold down space, and we will get thrust that should lift the ship up in the air. Watch. This is the best. Bam! Because I forgot to set the batteries from recharge to no setting, which means they'll accept power to charge if there's power going in, and they'll also discharge and give power to other systems if other systems ask for it. In this case, we were asking, but we didn't have it on the right setting, so it didn't go very far. So we try again, only this time we remember to set the batteries properly, and something happened. This is what happens when we hold down space. We're doing cartwheels. We're upside down. There's our drill assembly. So I decided to set the camera so that when we release the landing gear, we can see what happens. You can see the first thing that happens as soon as we release the landing gear is the drill assembly breaks off. All the pistons break apart, and then the weight of the drill assembly sitting in the shroud, in that little bell in the front of the ship, keeps us from lifting up straight. So we end up, in this case, we're rolling down the hill. Spectacular failures are sometimes the best part of games like this, but the long story short, we have to start over. The whole drill thing just it's not going to work for us. So I've already got another idea. Next episode, we're going to start working on that new idea. We're not going to take a ton of time building the ship, but there's going to be quite a number of differences. We'll give you an opportunity to see what those differences are. I want to get the ship into service as quickly as possible, because above and beyond everything else, we need ore. That's kind of the goal. So if you want to be notified when I add that next episode, you can subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on social media. Links to social media always in the information box below the video. Go ahead, leave your comments and feedback. Have a good laugh at my expense. I'm laughing. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care.